Alright, we're going to take a look at how to create a Skrillex vocal effect in Logic Pro. Now I just did a tutorial for this in Ableton a couple weeks ago, but several people asked me how to do it in Logic, so I figured I'd take a few minutes to show you guys. Now I took some samples from our Pop Vocals sample set as well as our Dubstep Apocalypse Volume 2 product. So if you haven't checked that out, be sure to do so. It's pretty awesome, especially if you're looking for some dirty dubstep wobbles. Now here's the arrangement I've created.
Should be played at high volume.
So we've got a nice dubstep track going. Now here's that vocal effect soloed out. And that's what we're going to recreate. The first thing you'll need to do is pick out some vocal samples that you can chop up. Preferably things that are more melodic than percussive in nature. So I took some samples again from our Pop Vocal sample set, and you can see them here.
Yeah.
And now we can begin to chop those up. And that's very easy to do. All you need is your marquee tool, highlight over an area, click on it. Highlight over an area, click on it. Don't do anything, I wouldn't say chop it any shorter than eighth notes, but quarter notes tend to work well. Sometimes you can just go off of the transient peaks, but you'll need to slice this up, just as I've done here. So let me unmute those. Once you have it sliced up, you highlight all of your regions, and then you control left click, and you'll get a drop down menu, and you scroll to convert, and then choose convert to new sampler track. Now in this menu box, you want to make sure you have regions chose. You can give it a name and specify the range, but just click OK. Now your vocal sample should be laid out on a MIDI track for you, and you can access these different slices via your controller. So you will need some auto-tune to create this effect, and I recommend you go ahead and load that up now, along with a little stereo delay. You can use the stripped down version of auto-tune, works well on this effect. Choose the key of your song, in this case it's B major, and then we'll throw on some stereo delay. I'm just going to leave this as is, and at this point we can begin to sequence in a groove. Now you can do that two ways: by inputting the information into Logic's piano roll manually, or by triggering the individual slices on your MIDI keyboard and recording your groove. Now I personally like to use both. I might start playing on my MIDI keyboard to see what slices go well together, lay something down, and then maybe add some attention to detail manually. So that's an idea on how to sequence it out. Now I would recommend that you spend more time on it than I did just here, but that's a general idea. So once you have your phrase how you like it, You're ready for some additional processing, some detailed processing. So if we just ignore this track and we scroll up to the original one I did here, we look at my processing chain. You see I've got some auto-tune, some chorus. I ended up moving my delay a little farther down in the chain, and then some reverb and EQ. You just need to experiment for different effects, but you should get something like this.